Hello, everyone. How is everyone? And alright, so one of the questions I got was like, what is the map like? And typically speaking, the map is like this. I am right now in Battle Labs, where it's pretty much just the map, and I can be in Battle Labs with multiple people. You can be in Battle Labs by yourself. Right now I'm by myself. I'm not in an actual map. Match, not map. It is the map. This is the treasure chest. Specifically, this is what the newer treasure chests look like, which have usually like really good stuff in them. And because we're in Battle Labs, the heart is a lot bigger. Like you get more materials out of each item. And I will show you what the typical map looks like. A question I get a lot is there more than one map? The answer to that is, for the most part, no. But the map does change a lot, or at least the main map does, and I can show you an overview of what the map looks like in just a second. Get as high as I can. So right now I am building, which I can hold down the button and build like this. This is called turbo building, or if you don't have turbo build on, you would have to literally hit each button. Right, so I have hit height limit, which is the highest point you can go to the map, which is roughly 338 meters is how far that point is. That is not the lowest point on the map. The lowest point of the map is somewhere over there. The map itself is pretty decent sized, and I will show you guys some of the areas. This is an overview of what the map looks like. Right now it is chapter 2, season 6. I do not think I have, we don't have it set up to where, that I just ate a hop fish, which will make it, allows you to like jump like with 0 grav. This part of the map right now does not have any animals on it, but there are animals, which I will show you in a typical match. As far as gameplay goes, this isn't my favorite game. It is the game I've played the most, but that does not necessarily mean it's my favorite game. This is Holly Hedges, which is a small town. You can get achievements. Each season has different achievements you can get. This is what a typical chest looks like. Which looks like this. Right now the season arc is like primal. Right now, this right here that I'm using, these dual wield sword-like things. Those are your pickaxes or harvesting tools. And let's make our way. Let's hop into this truck and make our way to Sweaty Sands. This is, like I said, it's a decent sized map. There are, like I said, there are other maps that creators do make. They are not your part. Oh, I guess there are animals in this one. So right now we have boars, which you can collect, and you can get metal, not metal, bones and meat from, which they've updated the crafting system. So, like for instance, I can make what is known as a hunter's cloak, which looks like this. And this is one of the weapons you can also have. Hunter's cloak makes it so that you could interact with animals without them attacking you. Get back in the truck. The truck itself is called a bear. This one, this is a truck which is called a bear. The more sports car looking one, which is like this, is called Whiplash. Whiplash. Right, so right now I am in Sweaty Sands, which is kind of like a coastal town, which is here. This is Mudflap, and we're gonna make our way over to Pleasant Park, which is 500, a little over 500 meters away. Mudflap does not drive very well off-road, unless you have the off-road tires. Also, Mudflap typically does not have a lot of gas. And this is a llama, which you can get a whole bunch of stuff in, but since, like I said, since we're in creative, not creative, it used to be called Playground, but now it's called Battle Labs. I'm not honestly sure why they changed the name. I really don't have an opinion on the changed name. Playground, I feel, better explains what you can do here, but they decided to change the name. Like I said, this isn't necessarily my favorite game, but it is a game I play a lot. This is a legendary chest, which looks different than the other saw there. You can also, if you get enough stuff, you can enough bones, you can upgrade your makeshift weapons, which is cool. Like I said, the map changes from week to week, not nearly as much as it does from chapter to chapter. Usually at the beginning of a chapter, there is more stuff to discover, which is kind of cool. I mean, the layout itself is usually pretty decent. Like, pretty much the same, but it is adjusted. Like, in Season 2 of Chapter 2, there was, like, this field wasn't here. There was, like, an open bunker, and you could go, like, and you could go, like, and there was, like, underneath this field was kind of like from, like, the bunker in X-Men. Only instead of underneath the basketball court, it's underneath the soccer field. These bigger gas stations are new. Right now I am in Pleasant Park, which is one of the mini towns here. It's not necessarily the biggest. And let's see if I can. Alright, these are the vehicle mods. This is what it's called. It's basically tires for your car. you throw them on your car. This one is called it's basically I think it's called a Pathfinder. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a while since I've actually looked up the names. And like I said, they can move across pretty much any terrain, and I mean any terrain with these tires. And then I'm going to show you the dam before I change the I exit out of this. Like I said again, I am in Battle Labs. Like I said, I like it. It's a decent game. It is a lot of the same battles over and over and over again with different rarities. This right here is the Spire, which is, there's always something in the middle of the island. This season it happens to be the Spire. It's all part of the ever expanding yet convoluted story. And then right now we're cutting through Weeping Woods. Most of the places have names that start with the same letter. So, like Peter Parker is an example of what I'm talking about, or in this case, Weeping Woods. And then you've got Holiday Hamlet, which was in the previous map. And we're at Slurpy Swamp. And like I said, one of the cool things, which is admittedly really dumb, but I like it's fun because of how funny it is I am listening to the radio in this car. I'm not entirely sure why it's not muting it. It's supposed to be muting copyrighted music, unless this is not copyrighted music, which is fine. And okay, well, at the beginning of this season, you used to be able to like literally climb like straight up sides of mountains with these. I think they fixed it. Okay. Yeah, they fixed it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit out of this. And I'm going to show you some of the other maps that you can do. They're not the main map, but... And so we have the four main game modes, which are... Well, actually, there's 5 main modes. There are solos, duos, trios, squads, and Team Rumble. Then over here you have the LTMs, which in this case, this current LTM is a survival mode, which is really kind of cool. And it's less of a battle royale and more of like survival. You have to collect the pieces to the helicopter, assemble the helicopter, and make your way off the island. Then right now we have every week or so they switch out the creative, the community creations, which are, for example, Red vs. Blue 2.0, and these often are different maps. Like completely different maps. They're called community creations, which those get swapped out every few days to every other week or so. It varies. As you can see, this is a different map, which I'm going to go ahead and leave soon, just to show you an example. waiting. Sometimes it does lag out a little bit. Which is kind of cool, which I'm going to actually go ahead and leave. That's just one example of an additional map you can do. And then there's the creative maps, which I'm going to go into creative mode, which is cool. So I'm going to go ahead and do on this one, where I'm not going to join anyone other than myself, just so I don't have to deal with other people. I'm actually going to do something. Give me a second. I'm going to test something out. Give me 1 second. Test. I'm going to test something out. Give me 1 second. Test. Okay. I'm going to test something out. Give me 1 second. Alright, so I was having issues earlier with the volume not picking up, and turns out it was a PlayStation issue. So this is creative mode, which you have different little things. These get switched out every week, but there's also a way of changing the code, like over here where you can, if you know an island code, you can type in an island code and bring it up. And there are different types of creative maps, which are created by people who have creator codes. And these are different types of maps. And I was playing on this one earlier. I think it was this one. Was it this one? No, it was up here. Now these are what are called featured maps, which are maps that are well, as it says, featured. And a lot of times these are death runs, which I think is this one. No, that's Nick's Mercs. They're all. And these, so they look different, and they're completely, like, there are some that are I can do creative, not creative, yeah, the creative without anyone here, or I could do it with people in here. If I have it open to where there are people, there's like anywhere from, I think, 50 people to 15. And it's kind of a death run, which is cool. And it's an adventure. Oh. Just for an example of some of the things you can I hate death runs. I suck at death runs, but they're kind of... I hate death runs. And so I am going to go back to the hub. For an example. This is a map that I'm working on. I do not have a creative code, so I can't publish the map so that other people can play. Well, this is one of the maps that I'm working on. I've pretty much abandoned this, but I can show you, like, you know, generally speaking, how you make a map. You can use any asset that they have. If you have a creative code, you can even modify some of the looks of these. But since I don't have a creative code, I can still modify what this place looks like. I just can't, like, modify the specific items. Like, I can modify the layout, make the map look like, for instance, make the map look like... trying to find the one I was playing earlier. This one is a adventure map, so I will go ahead and jump into it. And it's kind of cool. And so it's kind of... I don't know what language I just chose, but I'm assuming it means something to let's escape, or here our adventure begins. So this is an interesting map. I'm not going to play much of it. But as you can see, there are other maps, like I said, that you can play. And I'm going to go ahead and leave creative as an example. One of the questions I get a lot is, how does this is the item shop. These are the what is called legacies, which is achievement things you can do, which is kind of cool. Such as landing the first time. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a solo match. And I can show you guys a typical what a typical match looks like, since it's something you guys have been asking about. Like I said, Fortnite itself isn't necessarily like my favorite game. It is a game I play a lot. I do like it. it has a lot of faults. There are some decisions that it makes that are just like, why are you doing this? But they typically don't do things that don't fit somehow with what they're doing. They do some things sometimes to, like, you know, make money, but that's the object of being a job. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Misty Meadows, where I'm going to land. This is where I've got there. This is a good view of, overhead view of what the map looks like. Over there is Kevolution Energy, which is also called Steamy Stacks. Well, actually, Steamy Stacks is the name of the location. The business itself is called Kevolution Energy because of Kevin the Cube. I'm gonna land here. I do got quests that I can do to earn XP, which is here. I'm going to go ahead and land right here. Use my harvesting tool to pick this stuff up. Oh, okay, that should have killed me. The fact that it did not slightly surprises me. I'm gonna do that. Hop, flopper, and flopper. Flopper. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pick this up with X, get the extra XP. I am at the disadvantage right now. There we go. I think that was a literal bot. Move this over. You can fish right now, which is cool. They added that about a year ago with this chapter. The chapter 1 map was completely different than the map right now, which is honestly something that needed to happen. It was just time to move to a new main map. There are gas cans for the car, but they also, if you shoot them, they explode and catch things on fire, which is kind of cool. I'm going to use this. I'm going to swap that out. Gray weapons are fairly weak. Right now I have the visual audio cues on. That's why you can see feet. You can have that on or off. I like them on. It helps me. Honestly, I'm not very good at this game because, like I said, shooting games are not my game. Like, they're just not. I've never been a big fan of shooters. One thing I like about Fortnite that other shooter games that I've tried have that I just don't like is most shooters are in first person. I don't like first person. First person makes me nauseous. It just physically makes me nauseous. It's just not something I can usually play. Whereas with this, most people criticize the fact that you can't do first person, and while I think that would be nice for people who like first person shooters, I don't like first person. It makes me nauseous. It's just not something I like. It's just not something I really like. Which is one of the reasons why I think I like Fortnite over, say, for instance, Halo or Call of Duty. I've played a little bit of those games. I don't typically like them. This area here is where the map is right now. And let's go find us some people to eliminate. So right now I'm harvesting up items. I'm gonna, in a minute here, just a second. That was a very thick pillar. Right, this right here is gold, which you can use, that was added last season. Where you can buy things from NPCs, which is cool, something they added, which is really nice. So we have metal, stone, and wood, which are items we can use. There's another regular chest to build, and this is building. This is what building looks like. It's the whole main gimmick of Fortnite. You make forts, which typically people don't make, air quotes, forts too much anymore. They make and I got killed. Which overall it's a game. I like it. I don't understand the criticism of it. I understand people thinking it's just a cash grab, everybody likes it, yada yada yada. But it's really no different than any other real game. This is the Battle Pass. I've completed the Battle Pass. Or the majority of the Battle Pass. These are the things you can get if you buy the season Battle Pass, which is like you gain levels, and as you gain levels, you gain rewards. And the rewards in the Battle Pass are only available during that season, but you can keep whatever you unlock in previous seasons, and you can still use them in the upcoming season. So like next season, I won't be able to unlock these, but because I've already unlocked them, I can still play with them next season. These are your weapon rafts, which are basically skins for your weapons. I have a lot. I have a lot more than 62. 62 is how many new ones I have that I haven't like looked at to say I have them. These are emotes and stuff, which moves or toys. This is a toy. It's a basketball. It does what basketballs do. You throw it in a hoop because it's a basketball. This is a emote, which is a way to dance. This is a spray, the Neymar Junior spray to be exact, which is like you spray paint a thing or a wall. These are emoticons, which basically do what no one really likes emoticons. Fortnite was kind of like this was like right after or right before they did created sprays. Like, we need to do something to make things a little more fun that is not just dance. let's do emoticons. And they honestly kind of suck. Most of them really suck. Like, most people like sprays over emoticons. And like I said, there are toys. Gliders. This glider right now that I have is the part of the Marvel pack that came with Black Widow. Not Black Widow, sorry. With Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Taskmaster. This is Black Panther's glider. It's called the Wakanda Skyrider. I like riding gliders better than like normal gliders, such as this. This is a normal glider. It's kind of dumb. I mean, it's Star Wars, so it's cool, but it's loud. It's like really loud. I really like the look of the Millennium Falcon. I do not like the glider itself, because every time you open your glider, especially in something that has redeploy, it's that bright light right before it opens, and this is not very good. The Silver Surfer glider is probably one of the best gliders, just simply because it's like in its simplistic form. And then you have trails, contrails, which is like right when you jump out of the battle bus. Which is kind of cool. As far as games go, I would probably put Fortnite at a 6. It's not quite as good. It's not as good as other games, but it's not, as far as the shooter game goes, it's a shooter game. It's what it is. I mean, it's not really depth. Most shooter games aren't like super in depth. It's not trying to, be end all be all, which is something I like. It's not trying to be Zelda. It's not trying to be Grand Theft Auto. It's not trying to be, like, it's competing with them, and it's making money, and it's a job, it's a business, it's what they do. Like I said, this is the current the current shop, which is, right now they're doing a cross collaboration with the NBA, which is one of the few times that they've done things solely because it makes money and just doesn't fit. But a lot of games do cross promotions with things like the NBA. Heck, even Zelda Breath of the Wild has the skin where you buy the DLC and you get Link wearing a Switch shirt. It fits. I mean, it's just, like I said, yeah, it's like I said, yeah, they do things that are solely for money, but not any more than any other company does. Yeah, I've spent a lot of money on it, and that's fine, because it's my money. But It's not like you don't have to spend your money to play the game. Plain and simple. There are several, one in particular, who does not spend money on the game. But he plays it quite a bit. Because the game itself is good. It's a good game. It's a shooter. Which, again, is not really my game. And yeah, there are other maps. Like I've shown you. There are other maps you can play. You can play one of the... You can play one of the creative creations. You can go into creative and you can play one of those maps. Yeah, it's still basically the shooter game. It's a shooter. That's what Fortnite is. It's a shooter. And a lot of the other maps are smaller, you know, smaller looking maps because they are creative made. Like Epic didn't make this. This one was created by a guy or a group called AWA or AWA. I'm not sure how this person pronounces their name. So yeah, there are other maps. No, it's not the main map. Yes, there is only one main map. These are vending machines, which were something that was in Season 1. Not Season 1. Well, yeah, not in Season 1, but in Chapter 1. They got rid of them in Chapter 1 for the main map. But you can still have them on your own map. Or someone who has a creator code can make an island and then publish it. Just as here. So, typically, no, there isn't, air quotes, mods for the main map. But there are ways...
You ready?
Wait.
And yeah, there are a lot of, like, kids that just play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on y'all's team. Yeah, I'm saving up for a rocket launcher for sure.
And that's cool. I actually have no clue what I'm doing, to tell you the truth, in this map. And like I said, with each map, I could probably...
Oh, I knocked one.
Cool.
I'm rushing.
Bro! Which one are you? The mutant skin?
No, I'm the bright bomber. But it's the summer version.
Were you playing this earlier today?
No.
And so, I mean, I am going to go ahead and read
Well,
this
I
map
was playing
out.
this earlier, but I was
Like I
playing
said,
with
there's
someone
other
else.
maps. There are other maps. There's maps people create. There's other maps you can play. There's other game modes you can play. There's death runs. And I'm going to go back into Battle Labs. And what I'm going to do is I am going to... you go. Actually, hold on. Oh well. With each new season, there is things to discover about the map. Like, if it's still here, which I'll show you. Like, there are places like hidden in the maps that are not as easy to find as others. You guys see where everything here is like orange and stuff? That didn't used to be like that. Like last season, that used to be all sand. There used to be like a coliseum over there. Like, the map itself changes. The main map changes majorly every season, and there are little tweaks to the map every week. I think it's this one. I'm trying to remember where this is. Yeah, I think it was here. So this may not be here anymore. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. So, like this. This place is a place you can discover. And this is the Easter egg to Tenet. And there used to be, I don't have copyrighted music on right now. I have it so it'll mute it. So there may be the Tenet music playing. But that's that thing from Tenet. And this is a place you can discover. There are things to discover on the map that are out of the way that you have to go find. There's not a heck of a lot of it, but there are. That's just one example. And then, right now I'm playing in very, very low grab, so that's why I'm able to bounce like that. Which there are game modes that have that. And there's like, for instance, there's this place over here, which is a small little, and so an example of a major map, a minor map change that happens from week to week is when they added these tires. They also added these whole sheds or garages that were in it. That's an example of a fairly decent change. Like, for instance, there wasn't anything there. That was a porta potty. There was literally just a porta potty right there. There were still gas stations for cars to refill cars. That's an example of a week-to-week change. Like, for instance, also, a few seasons before cars became drivable, these gas stations were here, but that's all they were. They were just like a cosmetic gas station. Another example of a week-to-week change versus a season change is there were no raptors. there were no raptors until just a couple weeks ago. Another example of a week-to-week change is, for example, this slurp truck. Next week may not be here. This slurp truck may be, like, way over there. For example. Another example of an example of a season change, a change that happens from season to season, is instead of all these forests, hold on, give me a second. This used to be sand. There used to be sand, like, way over here. Like a desert. And you could, like, tunnel in it. This spire wasn't even here. That's an example. Like, these spires right here. These were not here at all. Last season. Another example was this colossal crops. You can still see where the Colosseum used to be. Because I'm standing on a wall that used to be part of the Colosseum. But this used to be a big Colosseum. Like an actual Colosseum. And you can still see the doors and what's left of it. But things like that is a season change. There wasn't any animals last season. That's a this season thing. The spire wasn't there. All this was sand. There was hardly any water. The water's back. A couple seasons before that, the entire map was flooded. So, like, most of this map was underwater. And then each week, the water level would go lower. All these zip lines weren't right here. A week-to-week change would be, for example, if when zip lines weren't active. An example of a week-to-week change is this over here. Both a week-to-week and a season change. So, this used to be a small town called Salty Springs. And then last season, they basically got rid of Salty Springs and put sand everywhere. And then they put tilted towers, like, right on top of it, and renamed it Tilted Salty Towers, and with, like, sand everywhere. And then this season, it's still relatively the same layout as Salty Towers, but it's cosmetically different. Like, all these bones and stuff, that wasn't there. That's a this season thing. A lot of this stuff, like I said, it gets changed season to season and week to week. A very good example of a weekly change, and let's make our way over there, is over here in Caddy Corner, where I'm headed, which is 1,300 or so meters away. Which, the map itself is a pretty decent sized map. I mean, it's not like the biggest map ever, but it is a decent sized map. And that's a boat you can ride. Here, I'll actually, hold on. Instead of showing, well, I'll show you that one too. Another example of a week-to-week change is, hold on, let me. Is this sheriff thing over here. This wasn't here last season. This wasn't over here hardly at all this season. Just like last week or the week before, this was a rundown, broken down building. There was no second floor. It literally was just like 4 walls. Now, this seat, like I said a couple weeks ago, it now has jail cells, it has the gnomes, it has things like that. An example of something that is discoverability that you need to, that a lot of people now know about, but at the beginning of a season they didn't know about, was the underground spot over here in Lazy Lake. Like, a lot of people knew about this part, but what they didn't know was, if you knock out this wall, you can go all the way through to the next room, next house. Didn't know about that. Another example of a week-to-week change. See if I can get over there a little bit better, a little quicker. Was little shots over here. This used to be just a, like, we literally, throughout, I think it was 2 seasons? It was through 2 or 1, it was 1 or 2 seasons. We literally saw this being built. Like, it was something that we literally saw them, like, 1 week it would be walls, and another week it'd have a little bit more walls, and then it was painted, and then it was the chairs came in, and then there are things to discover. It's something that changes. It's something that they work on, and then, like I said, there are weekly changes, there are seasonal changes. I feel like I'm rambling now. Another example. Oh, there is one. Cool. This is what a raptor looks like. was another example of a seasonal change. Was before this, before the map was flooded. There was a whole underground base, right here, like in there. Like you could go in there, like, and there were several ways inside. You could go down through here, which wasn't full of water at the time. And then there was another one right over here that wasn't full of water. And these were like air tunnels. Kind of like how we had those air tunnels that I showed you over in Steamy. So yeah, the map changes. The map changes a lot. And then, like I said, there are those other maps that you can play on, which, depending on what map you're looking for, you can find. There's one where it's basically a Pokemon adventure, but in Fortnite. There's several different types of battle royales. There's several different types of death run matches. There's practice maps. There's maps where you go on great adventures that are based on other properties. There are maps that are their own stories. There's detective maps. There's quest finding maps. There's a lot of different maps. There is. But the fact of the matter is there is only one main map. There is a map that most people play, and then there are creator created maps that use the assets of the main map, such as a tree or a rock or a to make really beautiful maps. See if I can't find the map I'm looking for, because I was playing it earlier. I think it was over here. I think it was this one. Yeah, I'm 90% sure it was this one. That is it's a really beautiful map, and I don't like death runs, but this death run I like. It's infuriating because I don't like death runs. Yeah, it's this. Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Which... I'm waiting for it to start. Which... Like, this map itself is a really beautiful death map. I do wish, something that does aggravate me sometimes is a lot of times it doesn't give you the ability to just auto start, which is annoying. But this map itself is a very beautiful map. Alright, so you jump on that to start. And look at this. This is a map someone created using the assets of the game. So they didn't modify what the items look like, but they... Oh, ah! And I suck at death run. Like, I really, really suck at death runs. But this map itself is beautiful. I mean, graphically speaking, it's not quite great graphically, but nothing in Fortnite is going to look stellar graphically, because it's Fortnite. But I really suck at death runs. But you get what I'm saying. Like, this itself, like, he created this using assets from Fortnite to make a map that isn't, you know, the main map. And there are adventure maps that are similar to this, that are just as beautiful. So I hope I answered people's questions. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to message me. And that's enough death runs for today.